Tennessee Death Row Dogs, your local dog rescue nonprofit.
I'm Jeff Cornwall, and this is the Entrepreneurial Mind. Today my guest is Peter Smith with Golden Spiral. We'll be back to talk to Peter after a moment.
Talkapolis programming is sponsored by the following. Highland Hills, a multicultural, diversified funeral home supporting the entire Davidson County community. Visit our website at www.highlandhillsfuneralhome.com or call us at 615-650-5555.
Well, Peter, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, now it's been fun to have some alums from our program at Belmont here, and you graduated 2 years ago, is that right?
Yeah, about a year and a half, I think.
Okay, and so the business that you got into as you graduated was a little bit unusual because Golden Spiral is actually a father, a son, and Peter.
Yeah, there's the three of us, and I am a non-Farkas.
A non-Farkas. So talk about that dynamic and kind of how you kind of sorted that out, because there's a lot of people that get into that kind of business situation. I mean, I had on the other side, we had a non-Cornwall with two of us Cornwalls in our business. And how did you guys kind of sort through that early on? Yeah,
well, I'll start out and say, first of all, it's really been great. I think it's really important that the three of us all bring kind of a really different skill set, which has really guided us throughout the whole partnership. I think, obviously we actually worked with you quite a bit at the beginning to get some advice and to talk about what was the best way to set up the LLC. And they're really just looking at what problems could arise throughout the partnership and talking through those and how we would relate, how we would deal with conflict. That was a big part of it.
Right. And how did you decide to deal with conflict? Do you guys vote or?
We do have voting rights set up. We actually decided to rule based on consensus, which is potentially a dangerous mechanism, but we had something in place to where if we ever came to a stalemate, there was an out where we could bring in an external advisor. But the family dynamic really hasn't ever been an issue.
So with managing by consensus, kind of talk about the pros and the cons of that, because a lot of three people partnerships do that, and it generally works pretty well, but it can be a little bit glitchy at times, shall we say?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely scenarios where it can be glitchy. I think there are sometimes some pauses where we're kind of trying to regroup and say, where do we go from here if there is a stalemate? We've been fortunate enough where we've never really had any major issues, but I think the biggest pro to it is that it's really enabled us to I guess, enact our mutual respect for one another. As I said, we really do have different personalities, different skill sets, and we are aware of each other's skill sets and really respect whenever an issue comes up to where we know kind of whose realm it falls in, and that's really been important in us kind of making decisions.
Now, you guys have been in operation for a pretty short period of time, but you've gone through some pretty dynamic business model evolutions over the last couple of years.
We have, yeah.
You started out primarily entertainment kinds of websites, and talk about how you moved from that into kind of some of the other work that you've been doing more recently.
Yeah, well, I'll take a minute and just kind of focus on what our primary objective has been working with clients. So when we work with clients, we focus on the brand and how to articulate that brand to the market. So whenever we started the business, we weren't really looking and saying entertainment is our niche. It was really how do we work with clients and help them articulate themselves. So that's really guided what we do.
Did you get some pushback early on and they said, no, that's fine, I just want a website? That's why I came to you guys, you do websites.
Yeah, I mean, we did a little bit in the beginning. I mean, part of it comes to, working to develop that brand and identify the market and really work on the messaging. It takes a little more time, and the more time does necessitate a little bit more cost. And starting out, it's kind of hard to walk that balance of saying, no, we really need this amount of money to do this project, but also say, we're new, we're not very proven, so trust us to go do this. So that was the challenge starting out, but we really, we had the privilege to work with some really good clients that, my partner John had worked with these people in the past, so they had a lot of trust for him, and it really helped establish credibility and help us evolve to where we are now.
So the journey you went through, moving from primarily entertainment kinds of clients to a broader range of clients, it's a similar journey that a lot of businesses, I think, follow. They kind of think they know where their traction is, but sort of the market opportunity leads them somewhere else. Can you talk about that process of how you made that decision to do that, and what have been some of the challenges and rewards from making that decision?
Yeah, well, I'll say, one of the great things is we have pivoted quite a bit, but we haven't had to escape our initial unique value proposition. Really focusing on brand narrative, focusing on story has always been kind of at the forefront. As we broke into other industries, there was somewhat of a learning curve. We had primarily worked with artists, with television shows. So breaking into more corporate clients was somewhat of an adjustment.
Were there differences in expectations or pricing or?
Just in how you articulate. You can take a more creative approach with entertainment. They're looking for what's cool, what's creative, what's innovative. Whereas with corporate, it's you kind of, we actually had our first, one of our first big corporate clients. They said to us, we're a little worried that what you do is going to be too creative and that our market's not going to relate to it.
Right.
So we were very cognizant of that and kind of moving forward with those clients saying, okay, that's great. We like this. Is it really in line with their market? So that was a really important question for us to continually ask as we kind of progressed.
What's your mix now? What's your mix between entertainment and corporate kind of work?
I'd say we're doing more corporate work. We still have some of our legacy clients that kind of helped bring us that we still work with quite a bit. We've brought in some other artists, but really, corporate clients are most of the ones that we're bringing in the door.
All right, so I get an email from you at the end of the year talking about sort of this new branding of your own business that you guys have done. And you've got this slogan that if I try to say it, I'm going to butcher it. So what's the new slogan?
Okay, the new slogan is looking at the post-digital experience-centric world.
All right, explain that one to me.
All right, so the idea of post-digital is not to abandon digital. But the idea is, for a long time, we've heard terms like online marketing, like e-commerce. And, people have understood the importance of that for some time. I mean, there's companies that have been marketing in the online realm for 10 years.
Sure.
But for a while, it's really been a sidecar to the overall marketing efforts. Well, at this point in kind of the market, there's digital it's now kind of a prerequisite for everything we do. It's not, it's more of a tool for people to understand a brand further. So what we're looking at is really, instead of focusing on digital, saying, okay, digital's here, how do we interact with it to focus on an experience-centric world? So an example of that being, when people are coming to a website, that's not the end destination. The end destination is not looking at that rich media, looking at the technology, but rather looking at what they're wanting to experience on that website. They're wanting to learn more about a company. They're wanting to learn more about a concert or an artist. So that's really what our focus is.
So how is that different? What does that mean? What does it look like?
What does that look like? Well, so I'll use an example. So we were able to work with Live on the Green, which is a Nashville summer concert series.
Right.
So our goal was to help on-site activation and also kind of increase traffic to their media outlets. So rather than just post a lot of rich media, posting images, posting songs to the artists, it was really, okay, the end goal is going to that event and experiencing these artists. So we were really focused on, okay, what is going to get people to interact during the event online to attract more people to see the true experience that's going on. So that's kind of how it guided our strategy for that event.
And you see that playing out on even corporate clients too?
Yeah, so especially on corporate clients. I mean, again, it's people wanting to, everyone going to the website to interact with that corporate client is wanting something. So it's helping them see how it applies to them.
Very cool. Well, thanks for coming in today. I'm always proud to have one of our alums here and see what you guys have accomplished. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you.